Alright, here we go. We're live. How's everyone doing? It's been a while. Since I've done a live stream here. Once again, shout out to those of you who know where I am. You've been around for a while if you recognize this spot. Let's get straight into it. So we've been seeing some nice Bitcoin pumps. This is potentially looking to be the beginning of one of the biggest Bitcoin breakouts we've ever seen. The reason that this is great is if you've seen the last video is the first video where I actually started feeling bullish, right? It was just yesterday when we were around here is where I started feeling bullish on Bitcoin. Up until this point, I was bearish. I was saying that we were going to continue downwards. I was saying that this was going to reject Bitcoin and send us lower. It was only when I saw that Bitcoin bounced off here that I got bullish. And the reason I got bullish here was because Bitcoin essentially had a chance with this rejection to trade all the way down towards $20,000. This rejection, I think, given how strong the downtrend has been and everything, video and sound is good. Thank you very much, Ricky. That was going to be what I was about to say. What I was about to ask. Given the strength of the downtrend and everything like that, the fact that we had this rejection right here to me was a sign that the market should have been ready to start trending lower. But no, we found support. This was actually the best thing the market could have done. So now I think that we're actually going to be looking at targeting levels like 42,000. And if this level breaks, I'm looking at levels like 52. And of course, if we can get there, then I am, of course, looking at levels like the all-time high. And if Bitcoin has suffered such a big downtrend, such a big rejection from an all-time high, if Bitcoin's going to be able to climb back up to that all-time high, it almost never means that Bitcoin is going to initiate another downtrend. Bitcoin almost always, after hitting the all-time high again, after such a long period of time, in this case we're looking at about 2 months, but more importantly after the price has halved, when we have a downtrend like that and we reach the all-time high, we almost never, ever set a new bear market. We will typically, we might get a small rejection, but we'll typically just rally amazingly higher after that. I'm talking about, doubling the all-time high and so on. So you guys always knew I've been bullish in the long term in this market, but I was expecting Bitcoin to set new lows. And the thing is, that's not completely out of the question right now, right? So I am starting to feel a little bit bullish, but I still haven't traded anything. I told you guys at this point I'm not going short on the market. I'm telling you now, I still haven't gone long on the market either. I do actually have... Why are people messaging me saying I'm live? Oh, right, the link wasn't... The link wasn't shared. My bad. Okay, 1 second. Let me just put this. Let me just put this link in here for everybody. Tell my team they should have reminded you guys. Anyway, well, that's not a problem now. That's fine. You guys are in the live stream. Let me just pull up my notes as well so I don't miss this. But the thing is, I don't think we're completely out of the woods. I think there is still a chance that we could be looking at setting new lows in this bear market. And the reason for that is that we are still in resistance, right? So we are definitely getting what I would consider to be a relief rally. This is quite a quick rally upwards, right? If we measure this in terms of time, it only took Bitcoin a day and a half to go up by 20%. And then from there, it only took Bitcoin a further day, maybe nearly a day and a half, to go up by another 16%, right? So Bitcoin has risen up by quite a bit. It's risen up by about 30% now in the space of only 5 days, which is a pretty substantial rise. We're pretty much rising almost as quickly as we were dropping right now. And I don't know if that's how we would be ending this mini bear market. I do still think that there might be a little bit of an opportunity for the bears to step back in at these resistance levels, because the fact is we're just not out of the woods yet, right? So while this does look great, we are approaching more resistance. And this, as we know now for quite a while, as I've been saying very, quite vocally on this YouTube channel for a while now, $42,000 is the level to beat. And we haven't beat this level yet. We have not risen above 42,000 yet. So until and unless we're actually able to climb above this blue box, so far we've just gotten rejected as expected, exactly as we said would happen on this YouTube channel. Until and unless we're able to trade in this cloud and in this blue box and actually trade above it, we're still trading under resistance, and that's important to keep in mind. We have that resistance with different time frames as well. It's important to note that with just basic horizontal levels, you can paint support resistance levels and they're static, right? They never change, right? This will stay a resistance level forever unless Bitcoin climbs above it, in which case it will stay a support level forever. What changes is the moving averages that we might use, right? So things like the EMA ribbon, the EMA 21 down to 200. This is a beautiful indicator, which I have a full tutorial on how to use. So please type this into the YouTube search bar to watch it if you haven't already. But this is one of the dynamic indicators where resistance and support moves. And what we have right here is Bitcoin climbing into this resistance level right here, right? Bitcoin is climbing into this resistance ribbon. It's potentially seeking a little bit of resistance right here. And this resistance stretches all the way up on this ribbon up to $43,000. So we can see how we're not just battling a horizontal level now. We're also battling moving averages, and actually at that we've got the 200 EMA as well, the 200-day EMA. So that's a pretty substantial line right there for the trend to be facing as resistance as well. The good news is that we have beaten a lot of the resistance on the smaller time frames, right? Like on the 4-hour time frame, we are above the EMA ribbon. Not that it matters because there wasn't a spread, so it's not actually very significant right now. But we did break the Ichimoku cloud as resistance, and now, as I said yesterday, it's turned into support. So yesterday I told you this thing could be about to turn into support. It's now done that, which means, and this is the best part, right? This is where Forthlight actually becomes bullish again. You're seeing it happen, right? When Bitcoin was starting to fall down here, we got this bounce. I started to be a little bit bullish. Yesterday, I started to tell you, all right, this is looking good. We might be able to rally higher. Now is where I'm starting to get excited, ladies and gents, because the way a healthy market will move is not just a straight rocket ship up, right? What a healthy bit of market action might look like is that Bitcoin does actually find resistance here and falls back down to a previous area of resistance, now turning into support. Bam, right there at the $36,000 range. It would make so much sense. And then Bitcoin being able to find a little bit of support and then climbing on higher. Ladies and gents, I can see there's 1,500 of you in this live stream today. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you're finding this live stream informative so far, if you're finding it at all useful, then please do smash up those likes. I would really appreciate it. But taking it back to this analysis right here, it makes complete sense to me that we would find some rejection over here and trend a little bit lower. This Ichimoku cloud is going to widen. We're going to see more support here across all different indicators on the shorter time frames, and that could be Bitcoin's real chance at bouncing off and then finally breaking this level. I think that would make so much sense right here in this trend. I think that would be beautiful. I would actually look to potentially take up some long positions if we did start to fall down in healthy ways, because I do think that Bitcoin right now is having that path to trade a little bit higher. The flip side, of course, is that this is still a relief rally, right? And in order to tackle that question, we have to keep in mind that still we are overall in a downtrend, right? We have been setting higher highs and higher lows just now, which is absolutely phenomenal. I'm very happy to see that. We have negated this short-term downtrend. We've broken out of all the resistance levels apart from the 42k level, so it's looking good in that sense. But that doesn't mean that we're not just trading in that sideways bear flag pattern that I described for you a while back, right? You guys might have remembered that I've been talking about Bitcoin could also be in a sideways kind of bear channel before it's about to break down again, and it's not going to be the first time we've seen something like that. Let me see if I can find you another example really quick, just on the fly here with this. Yeah, here's a beautiful example. I mean, this is it's not a perfect example, but it's still, I mean, it proves the point really well. Bitcoin finding a little bit of resistance up here, finding a little bit of support down here, and it just it trades in this range, right? And so it does reach the top sometimes. Maybe it even breaks out temporarily, but it turns into a fake out because the market keeps trading downwards after that. And then what we are in essentially at this point is a bear flag, so the market has to drop down, and it does eventually, because it's tested support once, twice, 3, 4. I think we're on number 4 now. We're about to do number 4, and then the 5th time it fails, right? So very similar chart pattern right now. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's not act like this is not a big deal. Let's not ignore something that happened with Bitcoin just a year and a half ago, right? We are sensible analysts here, or at least we try our best to be. We try to be unbiased, and we try to take in all the information available to us. And we've seen this before, ladies and gents. We've seen the market set a massive high, right? Then trend downwards, get a big waterfall sell-off into a bear flag, and then dump down even lower. We've seen this before. We've seen this before, all right? So I want to show you, the reason I'm showing this to you right here, ladies and gents, is obviously not to scare you. A lot of people accuse me of scaring you guys and trying to, you know, coerce people into feeling fear and selling your Bitcoin. You know, first of all, even if I could do that, you guys are normal people watching my videos. You're not bankers. You're not, you know, big institutional players that are managing, you know, $100 million accounts. So none of us are moving the market. It doesn't matter how many of us there are. We can't move the market anymore. The market is just too big for that. And second of all, I'm just telling you what's happened before. The fact that it's happened before in this market, to me, means that it can happen again. Now look, the possibility of that is slim, right? The possibility of that is slim right now. But what's very important to keep in mind within this market right now is that we are still in a bearish trend, right? So even though it's slim, it's not zero that we can do something like that. And I really want to focus your attention on that. We then ended up getting one final dump. It took us a little bit lower. I mean, you know, the support down here was 7,800. It took us down to 7,300. That doesn't sound like a big move anymore, but it was in percent. That was about a 5% move, right? So that would mean for us dropping down to about 28,500, which is similar to what I was saying previously. I was saying that Bitcoin, you know, from this potential bear flag, right here could actually end up dumping down a little bit below this support level, maybe find some support over here, although I've been saying that's very unlikely. Maybe it's going to find support much lower, but then we carry on trading higher. And again, that's what happened previously in that example. Then Bitcoin rallied up to $10,000, right? So again, we've seen this before, and I don't want to act like this isn't what's happening, right? I don't want to just ignore that because we're a little bit excited right now. That would be extremely irresponsible, right? I am a trader at the end of the day. This is my full-time thing, so to speak. So not like trading is a full-time job, to be honest. It's actually not very time-consuming at all. It's one of the least time-consuming things I've ever done, actually. Very brain energy consuming, but not time-consuming. But yeah, because of that, I certainly think that yeah, Bitcoin still has a possibility to do that. We're at this resistance level. Resistance is where we get rejected. Happened before. Who's to say it won't happen again, right? It is a resistance level, and you need to keep that in mind. However, like I said, if Bitcoin is able to find support off levels like 36 again, that's going to be huge. You know, we can even throw a Fibonacci retracement. Probably it's a little bit too early to throw a Fibonacci on this right here, but you know, if we ended up falling down to bam right there, I mean, look at how precise that is. My goodness. As far as things that excite me, having a 618 level line up with a pre-existing support level, that's pretty hot. That excites me. So you know, it looks great if we're getting support lining up with pre-existing levels. If it lines up with our Ichimoku cloud, which in this case it would. If it lines up with our pre-existing support levels, which in this case it would, then to me that paints a very convincing image that actually, if Bitcoin did get a rejection here and we started to see a bounce here, bam, this thing is off. This thing is gonna fly. You know, the way I would see it in that case right there. Now let me make sure I'm not missing anything, because there is a lot that I wanted to go through, and ladies and gents, bear with me. I will get to your questions in just a little bit, but I do want to talk about the other things that I'm seeing on this chart right here. The other thing I want to bring to your attention on this chart is actually on this Gemini chart. I'm going to draw it here with my parallel channel tool. Bitcoin was in a descending channel for a little while. Now we were talking about this inside of VIP. I think we were, I'm not sure actually, but we weren't talking about it on the YouTube channel. So as you already know, VIPs, they get all the analysis that myself and my team puts out, and of course the insights into the trades that I'm taking. So like I said, I am planning a trade. I've actually had this trade plan for a long time. I've reminded them about it. It is a long position. So when the market is bullish, I go long. When the market is bearish, I go short. VIPs have seen me doing that. I'm sorry, it looks like we're having some connection issues. VIPs have seen me doing that all the time. So, you know, they get the full information on every position I'm taking everything that that there is to know really is there for them. So if you do want to join, then you can click on the first link in the description down below. Then you can click on the app /slice button, and then you can click on the send message button to ask me how to join VIP. I actually have a phone call with one of our yearly members right after this live stream as well, so unfortunately I'm gonna have to cut this one a little bit short. But right here, what's exciting about this is that Bitcoin was in a descending channel right here, which is typically a bearish pattern. I'm sorry, typically a bullish pattern, basically showing us that the market before was trending lower with a lot of strength, right? Look at the gradient with which the market is dropping. Right over here, the market drops very steeply, then the market is dropping less steeply, and now less steeper still. And the whole idea of that is that the market is losing momentum to the downside. At first it's dropping very quickly, then less quickly, and then much less quickly, which is an indication that essentially that momentum is reversing until eventually you start a rocket ship moving upwards, right? So that's what this is typically a sign of. In Bitcoin, it actually usually means that you're going to trade downwards, but anyway, let's just ignore that. I just have to tell you that so that my conscience is clear, because I don't think that this analysis would be complete if I didn't mention that. Please let me know if we're having any live stream issues, by the way, any connection issues. That would be useful for me to know. But yeah, like I said, a little bit of momentum kind of being lost within this downtrend, which could indicate that we are ready to trend up as well. So it's no surprise. I mean, we're moving up, and these indicators are starting to show us that this market could be turning a little bit more bullish. And of course, you guys already know that the level for me to beat in this market, in my opinion, is actually the $42,000 level, which we are very close to right now. We've actually started to already, almost tickle, so to speak, before we could be rising higher. And if we do manage to break the $42,000 level, this is where it gets very exciting, because as you can see on this chart right here, ladies and gents, I don't have any lines between $42,000 and $52,000. And the reason that I don't have anything in this empty space is because my bad, this connection thing looks like it could be a little bit of an issue. The reason that I don't have anything in this empty space right here is because I think it's precisely that. I think that this level is empty space. So I think that if Bitcoin is going to be able to rally from above this level, I think it should be a pretty clean, straight shot all the way up to $50,000. And the reason that I'm expecting that is very, very clear. Let me demonstrate it again for you on this chart. If I zoom out, we're on the 4-hour time frame, and that's fine. And if I just put one horizontal line right here, another horizontal line at $50,000, really what I want to show you is I want to highlight for you how much trading is, and let me draw another line right here just so I can really hit this point home. I want to start comparing some price action right here, right? So over here on this chart, we have two. We have a $10,000 range here, $10,000 between $30,000 and $40,000, and then $10,000 between $40,000 and $50,000. Right? We have two $10,000 ranges. In the first $10,000 range, there's a lot of trading. We're moving around. We're getting rejected. We're trending. We're not trending. We're doing whatever. There's a lot of price action. Again, we see that over here. We're getting rejections. We're finding support. We're trading, doing a lot in this first $10,000 range. However, on the second, video is lagging sometimes, audio is fine. Okay, thank you, slight lag. All right, thank you very much. Time for the barber. I can't afford the barber. We're in a bear market, unfortunately. You guys are gonna have to stick with this for now. And so that's the first $10,000 range. There's a lot of price action. Oh god, okay, bear with me as I try and buy some internet. I've got like the best internet you can get in this country, for sure. So here we go. I think we are completely fine now. Thank you all very much. Let me just put out a post. All right, perfect. We're good now. We're good. Okay, so Bitcoin was trading around a lot in this first $10,000 range, but the second range, it's pretty much just taken a straight shot up to the next level, right? It's pretty much clearing the 40K to 50K gap with relative ease. The second time, it nearly falls down to the yellow line, and this was a fake out, so it doesn't really count. And then the next time again, we're just falling from one end straight down to the other. And this is what's so important in this market right here, ladies and gents. It's that the first time we're trading around this level a lot, right? We're zigzagging, we're doing all sorts. The second time, we're just taking one leg up, and going straight down to the next level, right? We're just straight, we're entering this range only to hit the next range. Over here, we're entering the range, we're ping-ponging in between, we're trading sideways, we're getting rejected, we're trading back down, then we're going up. Over here, just one leg up. Over here, just one leg down. And the reason that's very important is it means that there's not a lot of all good now from the UK. I am back in the UK, yeah. The reason that this is very important is that Bitcoin has a lot of support and resistance in this range, but almost nothing in this range, right? So what I consider this kind of range to be, because of what I just described, is a vacuum, right? Bitcoin will enter it from one side, it will come out the other side, almost like a teleportation field. If it hits this level, more like if it hits like just above the resistance around over here, it's probably going to arrive at least over here, right? That's kind of how I see this teleportation range kind of acting like. So you can see it happening here. We fall below this resistance, we fall below the support, we nearly bounce off the support over here. So that's how I see this kind of range behaving, where if we are able to break out into it, we're probably going to shoot straight up. And to explain to you why that happens, because it's quite important to have an understanding of why this kind of thing happens in this market. To explain why, the reason that we're seeing this kind of thing happening in this market right here is because there's historically not been much price action at this level, right? If we measure the amount of time that the market spent in these levels, we can actually do that very quickly. We've got 10 days here, we've got plus 14, that's 24 days, plus 6 is 30 days, plus 8 days. We got 38 days trading in this $10,000 gap, and then trading in this $10,000 gap, we already have 38 days just the first time. So just the first time we ever hit this range, we've already hit 38 days, plus what we're doing right now, which is another 27 days, and now I can't do the math anymore, but that's got to be over 60 days, which is to say nearly double the amount of time. And that basically means that there's a lot of price history in this $10,000 gap and almost nothing in this $10,000 gap. And the reason that's so important is that nobody really is going to be looking to sell. I expect nobody is going to be looking to sell at this point in the market, because we haven't had much price history. So if there's no sellers, Bitcoin should be able to rally up with relative ease. Now, it's worth me pointing out, I was actually talking to somebody in person about this just like 2 days ago, one of my good friends that I actually made from this YouTube channel. Smash up the likes. Thank you very much in the comment section for mentioning that. I was actually meeting up with a friend of mine, and I was talking about this, and this is something that really pisses me off, so I'm sorry if I'm going to get a little bit passionate right here with this rant, but you know, this is something where I've been saying it for a while, and nobody was really listening to me while I said it over here, right? But it's the same thing that I just said right now, which is that in the market, if we start rising up to these levels, I think Bitcoin's going to be able to rise quite quickly. Not necessarily because a lot of people are going to be buying, but more importantly, because I don't think anybody is going to be looking to sell. This means we're going to have our first breakout, bullish breakout of about a month, right? That's a long time to be trading. So we're going to have our first serious breakout of about a month. I think that's going to make a lot of people very, very excited. That's going to return the euphoria to the market. It's going to make the holders feel very good. So we're not going to be feeling fearful. If they're not feeling fearful, they're not going to sell their Bitcoins. And so I don't think we're going to have any sellers in the market for those psychological reasons and those technical reasons. Just the fact that we don't have much price history here. You can't even draw a resistance level in this range, right? You can't draw resistance. You can draw resistance at these kind of points. You can't draw resistance at these kind of points. Maybe over here if you're pushing it. There's just not much resistance to be found in this price range. And that, to me, means that there's just not going to be many sellers in the market, so the market's going to be able to rise higher much faster than previously, and that is very, very important. Now, I need to also cover something else which I think is extremely important, which is what that meant for the trend over here. Now, this is something I was saying a while back. Those of you who have been subscribed for a while will know this very well. If you have been subscribed, shout out to shout out to you guys. Thank you all very much for the support on this YouTube channel. My God, it is absolutely amazing. We're closing in on 100,000 subscribers, so please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Please do smash up those likes as well. What I was saying all during the rally up here, even though I was bullish, ladies and gents, I wasn't ignoring the facts, was that the market was not actually very bullish. Look at the volume down here, right? Like, we're not actually getting a lot of volume while the market is setting all-time highs. The green volume is not spiking. People were not necessarily rushing to buy Bitcoin. My God, this is such a big point. People were not necessarily rushing to buy. You would think that if Bitcoin managed to rise from $40,000 to $65,000, that so many people were buying Bitcoin. Not the case. It's not the case. The fact was, ladies and gents, the fact was, people were just in this market who hold Bitcoin were just so damn euphoric, so happy with what they were seeing that they weren't selling, which meant that it was very easy for the market to drive the price up. Now, this is very important, and this is a concept that I cover inside of the Four Flies Academy course. So if you're already inside of the Four Flies Academy course, most of our VIP members are, which is absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever made. It's a course where I run you through everything I know about trading from A to Z. I've already covered this, but if I give you this concept briefly, what this means essentially is that if you've got, let's say you've got like a vintage BMW E30, right? Back when BMW was an interesting company. And you've got a vintage BMW E30, and let's just say there's only 50 left in the world. Not many of them are on for sale. The price when you bought it was $6,000. Now you can sell it for $30,000. But instead, and so let's say the fair market value is $30,000, but instead you managed to sell one for $65,000, right? So there's one person who's so damn desperate, not like the rest of the market. The rest of the market won't do this, but there's this one person who really wants to buy this BMW E30 for $65,000. So you're like, okay, fine, I'll sell it to you for $65K, and you do it. Well, this person has now bought a BMW E30 for $65K, which means that the last traded price for this car was $65,000. Now, that does not mean that all the other BMW E30s are worth $65,000, but it means that the last traded price of Bitcoin ladies and gents, was $65,000. I mean, the E30, not the BMW, not Bitcoin, the E30, the BMW, means that the last traded price for this car was $65K. Does not mean that the rest of the cars are worth $65K. So as soon as other people want to start selling, they realize that they can't get a price for $65K. Volume goes up, right? Volume goes up. Mind blown. Are you guys seeing this? Am I explaining this clearly enough? Because this is huge. This is why we went bearish. And I said this a long time ago. This is exactly why I was telling people inside of VIP, all VIP members, that I was selling way back when Bitcoin was at 52K. Take a look at this. Why I began selling some small holdings of my Bitcoin. This is why I bought a house with my Bitcoin holdings, right? Because we had these signs. It doesn't matter how bullish we were. It doesn't matter how bullish I was. The signs were there and I wasn't ignoring them. As soon as real volume comes back in the market, we realize that the market cannot sustain that 65K price tag, right? We realize that the market can't sustain that 65K price tag, so the market falls down to what's considered to be a fair market price. Bam. That's exactly why we got this sell-off. That's exactly why I think we're going to get a big rally upwards if we cross 40 and then manage to climb up to 50. That's exactly why I think we're going to get such a big rally from 40 to 50K. It's purely because, ladies and gents, it's purely because I think that not many sellers are going to be in the market at this point, right? Not many buyers were in the market here, although actually there was a lot of selling volume. But over here, there wasn't a lot of buying volume, but the market kept trading up because only a small portion of Bitcoins kept being bought. But that means that the last traded price of Bitcoin was 65,000. So if you go on an exchange like Bybit, which you guys already know is my favorite exchange, it's the only exchange that I really use anymore, and we take a look at the price of Bitcoin, the price that they quote, right, and this isn't a Bybit thing, this is an every exchange thing, the price that they quote right here is called the last price. It's not called the real price, it's not called the fair price, it's not called the spot price, it's called the last price, which means the last traded price of Bitcoin. We're not trying to say it's fair. We're not trying to say it's real. We're not trying to say it's representative. We're just saying it's the last traded price of Bitcoin. This is an extremely important concept to understand. You're not going to bother learning this shit if you're fucking around with shit coins like XRP, ladies and gents. You are not going to be bothered to learn stuff like this if you're wasting your time and money still down minus 55% on shit coins. right? Take a look at Tron. This one's just fallen through the fucking floor. This is abysmal. Look at this. Down to 179 Satoshis, peaked at 300, down by minus 40% against Bitcoin, which means that against the dollar, it's tanked even harder. This is not a Tron thing. This is not a Ripple thing. This is an altcoin thing. This is happening across the market, right? We've seen it with Ethereum. Ethereum's recovered up a little bit now. Cardano down, Link down. These coins that a lot of people considered to be good, they're suffering, right? This is an altcoin thing, right? Very, very important. You're not going to bother learning this stuff if you're messing around in markets like that, which means that you will make money when it's sunny, when the sun is shining. You won't keep your money because you're going to be gambling, so why would you secure your profits? You didn't really work for it. You didn't think to make that money, so you feel like it's been gifted to you, so you won't respect it, which means that when it rains, you're going to lose everything in that rain. When you're actually focusing on trading the markets in what I would consider to be a far safer way, leverage trading on an exchange like Bybit, obviously this is more dangerous in a vacuum if you're not actually prepared to do this, but if you learn how to use the exchange, which is what this channel is all about, which is what VIP is all about, if you learn how to trade in these ways, this is way safer in my opinion, and you're going to be familiar with these kind of concepts. We cover these things inside of VIP. This channel is great for analysis. We give you quite advanced concepts here. I try to make it, as simple to understand as possible for the layman, which is obviously the intention. However, VIP, we're dialing it up. We're actually taking it into more advanced levels. So if you want to jump in on that, then once again, those steps are on screen right here. If you're looking for an exchange, then Bybit, like I said, is the place to be. With all the bonuses available to you, you stand to gain up to $2,600 with all the bonuses that you can get with the link down below for free. Again, depending on how much you deposit and everything like that. So follow the link down below to gain access to that reward. I think that reward is also just for this month, and my tutorial on Bybit is also there as well. So you can pause the live stream, go do that. It's going to take you about 30 seconds to sign up and secure your free bonuses, and then you can come right back here. But and I forgot to mention, if you are in the United States like I was just a little bit ago, you will need a VPN, but of course I cannot endorse that. However, yeah, bringing it right back to the charts over here, I think that's an important concept to keep in mind. It's not just the last price of Bitcoin. We also need to consider what volume is sustaining that move upwards. Previously, there was no volume sustaining that move upwards, which means that not many people were buying, or not as many as you might have been led to believe. It's just that nobody was selling, and that's why the price went up. And of course, that's why when the market really started to experience some selling volume again, it just collapsed. It just couldn't sustain that kind of selling volume. That's why we get crashes like this, because the market with its real price was never this high, right? The real price of Bitcoin, well, we tried to establish it, we crashed. The real price of Bitcoin might be somewhere around here. I don't know. That's a weird debate. I don't want to get into it, but that point is extremely important, and I hope that did make sense for you guys. Please drop it in the comments if that did make sense to you guys right here. That's quite important for me to know. Thank you all very much for smashing up the likes, by the way, in this live stream. Do smash up those likes if you have found that little passionate speech useful. I definitely think that's very important to keep in mind. A lot of people ignore things like that, or they just straight up don't know, and I don't know which one is worse. So that's huge. So please let me know. Okay, very clear as usual. That's great. Thank you very much. I am ready to start going through your questions very shortly. So please do start dropping them in the comments. As you know, if you write my name, you will guarantee that I'm going to read your question. If you don't write my name, I will probably miss it. 100% made sense. That's amazing. Thank you all very much for smashing up those likes as well. Super important. I think that's going to happen again. So I think Bitcoin's going to be able to find some resistance up there at 50K. I think Bitcoin, if it passes 42, is going to be able to rise very easily up to $50,000. This is the next real area of resistance that I'm seeing for Bitcoin. I've already had it drawn on the Coinbase chart for a long time. Those of you who are subscribed will have already known this very, very well. None of this is taking us by surprise. None of this is happening by accident. This game is not easy. And there we go. Can I elaborate more on my team? What are my goals? So yeah, somebody asked a little while ago, can I elaborate a little bit more on my team? Well, we've got a fairly big team now. We're not just Four Flies VIP. We also run a couple other things. We're also now getting our things translated into oh, does my thumbnail say this is very bad? I don't think so. I'm not saying this is bad. I don't think this is bad anymore. I think this is only bad if Bitcoin gets rejected at 42K, in which case I think we're falling all the way back down to 30 or 36. If we find support around 36, I'm super bullish. I might even sell my house over here to go long on Bitcoin. I'm going to be super bullish if we bounce off 36. Otherwise, I think we're going down to 30K and then much, much, much lower. This is going to be really bad if we fall down to 30K again, I think, in my opinion. However, I think there's a good chance that Bitcoin might just find support a couple $1,000s lower, and that would be the best case scenario for Bitcoin, in my opinion, right here. My team. So we're getting our content translated into different languages. We're also starting up something. Oh shit, my bad. We're also starting up something completely unrelated, which really excites me. I don't want to talk about it yet. I'll announce it later. I don't like talking about what I'm working on until we have something, right? That's why I didn't mention anything about the Four Flies Academy until it was done. I didn't mention anything about the Trade Insane course, again, which all VIP members get for free, until it was done. I don't like talking about my projects until they're ready, purely because I've had a lot of projects that just nothing came out of them. That's one of the key reasons I never really talk about them. I don't want to necessarily brag. I do enjoy bragging, don't get me wrong, I'm a young guy, but I try to avoid it as much as possible when I don't actually have results yet. Four Flies for president of the planet, I would be amazing for that job. Yeah, that would be great. Anyway, I do think we would have quite an easy time rising up to this level. We have more indicators that would confirm this. We can take a look at the VPVR, and we're starting to see a spike at $47,000. This is where I think, yeah, according to the VPVR, Bitcoin might start finding a little bit more resistance, or up towards 52, right? So somewhere in that kind of $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 range. That's quite a big range, to be honest, but it's just over 10%. So in terms of percent, it's not that bad. We could be looking at finding a little bit of resistance in that range. I'm going to jump over to your questions, but before I do that, I also want to just check if I've missed anything from my notes. That was very important for me to cover the Ichimoku cloud. Just really the final thing with the Ichimoku clouds is I want to talk about what we're seeing on the daily chart. This is going to start offering some resistance, but if we can get the breakout quickly, this resistance is very thin, so I'm not worried. However, if we start getting this breakout towards the beginning of July, that's where this resistance is really going to become quite big, and essentially it's going to mean that up until pretty much, I'm saying, like up until the end of this month, so like another good 15 days, Bitcoin has a bullish window to trade higher, right? Bitcoin has a bullish window to hit 50K. After that, our resistance from the Ichimoku cloud is really going to be stretching down and mounting some pressure on the trend, and that will start being a little bit concerning for me. So that's something to keep in mind as well. You know, these resistance support levels, they are dynamic, they change. Different areas are at different times and at different price levels. And, my goal is to kind of be aware of all of them, or as many of them as possible at this kind of stage in the market. So let me start going through your questions. I hope that answers your question about the team. We're getting things translated. That's a big one. I want to make it more accessible. What else are we doing? We have so many things. I can't even keep track of it. There's so many things going on. It's actually a little bit overwhelming. So we're hiring potentially 2 new people. They don't know it yet. To the team maybe this week. So we'll see how that goes. Which alts do I like, or am I all in Bitcoin? So I'm nearly all in on Bitcoin. The only 2 alts I hold are Ethereum and Swissborg token. Swissborg token has been doing terribly over the past little bit, which is fine for me because, as I said before, I do expect them to recover higher. But from an investment perspective, there's no good support on this chart until it falls down to 30, if it falls down there. So I don't even want it to fall down there, but that's the next area of support that I see, just being brutally honest with you guys. You guys already know I do have a partnership with them, so I wish I could say nice things. However, yeah, this chart, it's not looking good. The good thing is their platform and their tech is still strong as ever. I'm still staking with them. I literally hold a bunch of Swissborg token and Bitcoin on their platform, which I'm staking. I don't know if I'm staking Bitcoin yet, but that is where essentially if you already hold these tokens, if you already hold Bitcoin, for example, you can put it on the Swissborg platform and earn interest on it every single day. So that's pretty cool. You can pull pretty cool numbers on that. And if you don't plan on selling your Bitcoin anyway, you're just going to hold it, then why not earn some interest, right? And they're backed with insurance. They're Swiss regulated, meaning if they lose your funds, They are insured, not completely insured, but it's something. It's better than nothing. Being Swiss regulated is a big plus in this industry, right? In crypto, that's rare, especially Swiss. So that's very impressive. And Estonia. So they're linked down below if you want to check them out. You can't access it if you're in the United States, but I believe most of the rest of the world can. So definitely do check that out. These are the only two altcoins. I'm in Ethereum and Swissborg. I don't like the rest of them. I don't think they're worth the time. Cardano's alright, but again, I'm not getting involved in them because for the most part, I am a leveraged trader. That's exactly what I've been showing VIP members all about. And it's been going very well. A lot of our members, going through our Full Slides Academy course, only 2 videos in, massively paying off the fee for joining that Full Slides Academy course as well. He's calling it not a big score, but this already massively pays off the fee, which is very, very impressive. Going from hoping to observing and evaluating. Look at that change from hoping to observing and evaluating. How powerful is that? I hope I don't need to explain that to you. If you look at these markets and you're just hoping that your position goes profitable instead of observing and evaluating if it will, man, you are suffering. You are the kind of guy that this dude is taking money from. So keep that in mind in these markets. And that's only 2 videos into the course. The video, I mean, this course is not like, it's not like a 10 video course. It's more like maybe a 50 video course. I don't know, but there's a lot. Obviously, you don't need to watch everything depending on your experience level, although I would highly recommend you do, because I don't teach anything in the normal ways. We've also got another member right here who's been pulling beautiful profits during the crash. You've seen VIP members profit on the way up. You've seen them profit on the way down. You've seen me profit on the way up and on the way down. Another Ethereum position that I made right here, which pulled a beautiful, clean, easy 35% profit during this downtrend. So very, very impressive. Let's go back to your question. So please cover Ethereum. I'll get to that in just a minute. Bear with me. I'm leaving this information on screen for you guys for just a little bit if you do want to gain access to it. The steps to join VIP are all on screen right here. Click on the first link in the description down below, then on the @4flies button, and then on send message to ask me how to join VIP. Someone is saying I have the wrong thumbnail for this video, so that would make sense. Yeah, okay, I see. I did actually update the thumbnail for this live stream, but for some reason it didn't save. So that makes a lot of sense. There we go. I've just changed it now. My bad, and I'm sorry for that. Do I ever use the depth chart? No, I stopped using it 4 years ago. What if this is just a bear flag? Well, that's exactly the possibility I was outlining. If you rewind the stream a little bit, it definitely could be a live stream. 100%. It could be. I'm sorry, it could be a bear flag. Unlikely now, but it's still possible. Look at the reverse head and shoulders pattern. What do I think? Let me see this reverse head and shoulders pattern. I mean, this is not a good reverse head and shoulders pattern in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, the head, I don't know if this, is this meant to be the left shoulder, this the head, this the right shoulder? Because that would be the, but the head is usually the biggest. If you mean this is the head, I guess this is a head and shoulders pattern, yeah. Yeah, it could be, yeah, that would make sense. I don't know what you want me to say about that, though. For those of you who don't know, this pattern is, we got the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. Typically, this means we're going to get a big breakout. The issue with these patterns is they're super inconsistent, so I'm not actually a big fan of them. What happens with Bitcoin next? That's the whole question that we're tackling in this live stream. Yeah, you can rewind the stream and start from the beginning. Do you think that the volume we see now is enough or genuine to start going up? Yeah, I do. I don't see a problem with the volume. What did I trade before crypto? Nothing. Will I shut the door? The door is shut. Oh, no, I'm not going to shut this door. No. If I shut this door, the whole room echoes too much. Excellent analysis. Thank you very much. How do I handle the tweet reaction market? People only react and liaise on Musk's opinion. This is hard to read. Well, Hisham, that's only true in the short term. So, I'm not that much of a short-term trader. I'm not open to that level of risk. So I don't react to, I don't handle the tweet reaction market because that's very short-term trading and that's dangerous. So, if it's a fight, very, very important to know, if it's a fight that I don't think I can win, I'm not going to fight it. And you see that a lot inside of VIP. Do I translate into German? Not yet. Currently, it's Spanish, Hindi, Russian, Chinese coming up, Arabic also coming up. My thoughts on SafeMoon, shitcoin. What do I think of a potential stock market crash that can bring the crypto market down as well soon? I don't think a lot of it. I haven't been looking at the stock market. Let me take a look. The S&P 500 is doing great. I don't see any indication that this is going to stop other than the fact that it's actually trading up with a little bit less momentum, but that's not massively concerning. Let's see where the dollar is at. Dollar is not really doing anything particularly interesting either. I don't know. I don't really have any real thoughts on that. What I do know, of course, for sure, and I've said this a few times, but it's worth reiterating because so many new people have joined us, is that if we are getting a stock market crash, then that means that a lot of people in conventional markets are going to lose a lot of money. And if people in conventional markets are losing money, that means that they're not really going to be willing to take on additional risk, right? When you're making money, that's when you want to take on risk. When you're getting rich off Bitcoin, that's when the altcoins explode. That's why we always see Bitcoin explodes first, then altcoins, right? It's very, very clear, very obvious. We've been talking about this concept on the channel for a long time. I mean, like literally over a year we've been talking about this. So those of you who have been subscribed, you'd be very familiar with this concept, right? The big daddy, the king of the market will rise first, and then the small cap shit coins will start rising afterwards. It's like Tesla will go up first. Everyone will make a shitload of money on Tesla. Then we're going to feel rich. We're going to feel greedy. And then because we're feeling greedy, we're going to look to take on additional risk in riskier markets because we feel like we can take that risk, we can handle it, and that's where we lose it. And that's where shitcoin holders fall into the shitter, exactly where they belong. This is why I've stuck with Bitcoin the whole time. I barely lost as much as the average altcoin trader as a result of it. Yes, the altcoin traders must have made much more money than me over here. How much of that do you have over here now, though? Fred, the altcoin trader. You don't have much left, do you? You know, a lot of these altcoins, a lot of these shit coins are down like minus 90% by now, and there's a reason for that, because these are risky markets, and there's no fundamental backing behind them. Bitcoin has that though. Once again, for those of you who don't actually know, I've made this video how to turn 1,000 into 1 million. In Bitcoin trading, the ultimate in-depth guide for beginners. So if this video was maybe a little bit challenging for you, it's on screen right here. If this video is perhaps a little bit challenging for you, then you can find this video on my YouTube channel. Just click on my profile picture and then go to my videos, scroll down, and you'll see 1 month ago 33,000 views. It's the only thumbnail with my face on it. Click on this and this is going to take you to my free in-depth trading guide for beginners. So this is going to give you everything you need to start the way I do it, right? The way that I consider to be safe, sensible, effective in these markets. That's huge, right? And this is free. It shouldn't be free. It probably won't be free forever. But if you want it right now, you can access it by going on my channel right there. And of course, if you want the actual full course from A to Z, everything, and see how I'm trading in real time, get all the information on how that develops, how I'm taking profits, how I'm managing losses, then you can follow these 3 clicks on screen. First link in the description down below, @ button at the bottom of any post inside of /gold, and then send message to ask me how to join VIP, and I'll send you all the information for that as well. So there you go. That should hopefully help you guys out if you are a little bit newer in this market. Let me go back to your questions. I'm going to take a couple final questions, but I do have to go soon because I am jumping on a call with one of our VIP members. Many of you will already know that members inside of our VIP group who have our yearly plan are also getting phone calls with me. So if that's something that might interest you, you can ask for that over here. And by the way, if you want a phone call with a member of my team to see if VIP is for you, if you would fit in well with VIP, you can also request that inside of this, and we'll set that up with you probably in the next 24 hours, usually less. What do I see with Binance? Nothing. If crypto keeps growing, Binance will probably keep growing. All right, the concept I wanted to explain with the stock market, though, is when people are greedy, they will typically be looking to take on more risk. When people are fearful, which means that their safe market has lost the money, i.e. the stock market, they're not necessarily going to look to take on more risk because they've already lost money, so why would they want to expand their risk? Which means they're going to play a little bit more defensive, and if that's the case, they're going to perhaps be looking to sell off their Bitcoin and more importantly, not buy Bitcoin. So of course, a stock market crash is typically a pretty bad thing for the market. Yes, I see your comments about my thumbnail saying this is bad. It's not bad. That was a mistake. The market is in a good place right now, in my opinion. All right, let's see if there's any other questions I haven't gone to. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anybody. Do I play poker? No, I would like to, but I don't really have the willingness to learn. What creates the Ichimoku cloud to go red or green? It depends on how the market found resistance or support in the past. Hopefully that helps a little bit. How did I get so good at reading trends? Zahid, I'm not actually that good. I just do the basics really well. And the way I got this way was through a lot of mistakes. I've been trading in this market for 4 years. That's enough to make me go gray. I'm not joking. You can't see it. Thank fuck for that, but it's happened. So I've been in this market for a while. 4 years in crypto is probably like 40 years in the conventional market because of how quick crypto moves. So it's just a lot of experience and making mistakes and reading books and studying courses. I've joined VIP groups too in the past. I found Crypto Kirby is very useful. Most others weren't. My theory is that Elon is smart enough to see your same conclusions and just tweeting to have fun. Absolutely, he's tweeting to have fun. Yeah. Is it possible to apply for a job? I mean, you can ask. You can just kind of tell me what your prior experience is, what you might be good at through Telegram, and if we're looking for something like that, we can do it. But at the moment, we are just looking to hire people in Dubai, which is where we are headquartered. So if you're not in Dubai, we're probably not going to hire you. Unless you're a translator. If you're a translator, then it doesn't matter where you are. Preferably in the country that you're translating for. Let's see what else we have. Any thoughts on the Death Cross? Covered it before. It's bad, but I don't care about it too much. It fires off really late. A Death Cross is a very, 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 very late indicator. And actually, you know, like I said on this channel, you know, the Death Cross, while it may be about to fire, you know, around about now, I became bearish back when Bitcoin's at like 50k. So you would have missed out on a much bigger drop if you're just looking at things like a Death Cross. And I think that's very important. It's just not an effective indicator in my opinion. It's a good confirmation if you're looking for that, but other than that, I'm not so sure. Let's see what other questions we have here that I haven't gone through just before I sign off for this stream. Thank you all very much for tuning in, by the way. Please do smash up the likes one more time if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you are looking for an exchange, you already know. Like I said, Bybit is the place I'm using. Bybit is the exchange I'm using. Great bonuses up to $2,600 for free with everything that they're offering when you sign up using the link down below. And you will need a VPN if you're in the United States. That's what I was doing as well when I was there. I didn't have an issue. Nobody I know has ever had an issue, but of course I can't endorse that. Let's see what other questions we have. What do I think? Okay, repeating that question. Could a 42k rejection find needed support around 38.5? John, yeah, absolutely. I think that if we get rejected at 42, we have some potential to find support a little bit lower around where we are right now. Really, if Bitcoin gets rejected up here and it finds support anywhere a couple $1,000s lower, that would be enough for me to become very bullish. It's just that if Bitcoin just kind of straight falls right through all the way below 36, 36 would kind of be the final area of support for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Maybe 35 over here, because that's a Fibonacci level as well, although it wouldn't be if we rose that high. But yeah, absolutely. I think getting a bounce is possible. I think the market has the strength for it. And if we did, that's where I would become very exciting. Sammy Loyal, just say Doge to the moon. I will never say something like that. What do you think of a... Okay, please stop repeating the same questions. We've seen 38k to 42k levels getting rejected 3 times in the past. What makes you even a little bit bullish without breaking 42k? Well, I'm a little bit bullish because we got to 42k, or nearly got there. And I'm not extremely bullish yet. I'll be very bullish if we go above it. So I'm kind of with you there. In your question, am I accumulating gold? Nope. Bitcoin is the digital gold. How long are my videos? And am I the one teaching the concepts? Yeah, so every single video, maybe apart from one, is recorded by me in the academy. But I think in the academy, in both academies, we got a regular version and an advanced version. Both of them, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one in every single video. How long are they? I mean, they vary. One of them's like 50 minutes. Most are probably between 5 and 25 minutes, closer to probably 15 minutes each. I don't remember. Because I recorded it over a year ago. Obviously, none of the content has changed because the market has, I mean, technical analysis doesn't change with time. You know, when I was studying TA personally, I was reading books from like the 1980s. So TA doesn't change just because it's a year old. It's not a single day out of date. That's the beautiful thing with TA. Like, you learn it once and it's relevant forever. A lot of people think it's not. And that's not the case. There's one particular line of thought I'd like to tackle, although I don't have time because I have that call with our VIP member right now. So actually, I'm going to have to end this stream right here. Bear with me. Yeah, I'm going to have to end the stream right here. Thank you all very much for tuning in. This has been a good one, and I covered something very important, especially with the ideas of how I think if Bitcoin manages to rise above 42, it should have a very nice rise up to 50. That was a very important explanation. If you missed it, rewind the live stream. If you enjoyed it, hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. Steps to join VIP are on screen. And if you just want our free stuff, then this link over here, first link in the description, is going to take you to our free Telegram channel, which is going to give you more free analysis and trade updates from myself and my team right there. So thank you all very much for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.